Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Laura and I like to craft stuff. I was recently inspired by, unfortunately, some climate changes and disasters really. And that is that because of the glacier and permafrost melting in Alaska, their rivers are turning orange. I'm going to show a picture here, but the picture, although devastating, is also kind of beautiful, and I really wanted to make a quilt out of it. It looked like it needed to be a quilt, the picture. So that is my plan, or that was the inspiration. So I'm going to do another strip quilt, but this time it's going to go side to side to reflect the greenery, and then I want little bits of orange that'll come down in the middle, the very scrap oranges, to eventually look like a river. I don't have a ton of green, so I suspect that this is going to be a smaller quilt, but that's okay because I think it's going to be more of an art quilt. So that is the plan. I have some greens that need to be cut up. I need to cut up some of the oranges, and then I'll probably start spreading these out so I can vary them on the layout. Okay, let's get started. Thank you so much for joining me in another video. I generally post every other Tuesdays, or at least I try to. Lately I've been really into quilting, but I don't always do it. Sometimes I do other crafty stuff. I am really excited about this quilt. Of course, things change during the process, but overall, this was a fairly quick and easy quilt to put together, and I think it's really pretty, in my opinion. So the photo was taken by Taylor Rhodes, and I got it off of the Scientific American article about why the Alaska rivers are turning orange. Mainly, the issue is that the permafrost is melting, and so iron and sulfuric acid is getting into the rivers and oxidizing, and so that's why they're turning orange. There are many studies coming out of the changes that are happening to our planet because of climate change and global warming. There was a study that came out back in 2017, or at least the article that I'm looking at is 2017, that 71% of pollution emissions are coming from 100 companies. So the vast majority of pollution is not being done or caused by the average hardworking person. This is caused by corporations. And so more regulations to help prevent their pollutions in order to protect our planet and to protect us could reverse some of these effects that we're seeing. I took a moment to find more recent information. So these screenshots are from an article and study from this year, 2024. I will link all of my articles that I'm getting this information down below. And I hope that you take the time to at least read up on it for yourselves. I think that's always important. The quilt is entirely made up of strips that were cut up by 2.5 inches, so this ultimately could be done probably by a jelly roll. So I don't know if that considers as scraps or not. But I am cutting up my smaller bits of fabrics that I have into 2.5 inches, especially for the orange. I do the same thing for the greens, but I don't have that on camera. I wound up with leftover fabric, so I could have made it a little bit bigger, but I decided to keep it fairly small. So I went ahead and cut up all my little strips, and I have them laid out on the floor for now, but I know this is very risky because of these cuties. They've already been very interested, but here is the layout of the river. It's already a little messed up, but that's okay. You get the idea. Now I'm going to fill in the rest with the greens, and then we can start sewing. Okay, so now I have the greens laid out around the river. It's not all the way flushed out to the edges, and that is because I really want to get these at least sewn into strips for the river placement, and then I can fill out the rest once it's on the wall. So yeah, that's where we're at. It's looking, on camera, it's looking pretty good, so I'm excited. I would have done more of this on the wall and filmed that. However, the ladies in my house with ferocious claws keep tearing it down, and so it's not very sticky anymore, and I actually had to glue it back up because the felt kept falling down. The tape at this point is dead, but my plan is to get something better. I was recommended by a lady at Joann's to get a tablecloth, and I really need to check because it's summertime, so there's probably a whole bunch of good ones. Some tablecloths to use instead, because the back of like the felted tablecloths are a lot more sticky, because ultimately I would like to do more designs like this, more abstract, but I need a place where the kitties aren't able to get to them. I did have some difficulties with, they wanted to have fun with me, so things got a little jumbled in the process, but it ultimately worked out in the end. I think it's pretty good. I started by sewing everything strips horizontally, and then sewing those strips together in twos. You're watching me iron all of these. I did them basically two at a time. I would do two together, iron, and have all of them in twos, and then I would do the larger batches together. So overall, it's a pretty quick and easy quilt to put together. With that being said, I think I'm gonna leave you guys with some music for a little bit, and then we'll wrap it up. So here is the final layout. I definitely feel like the turnout became more abstract than I originally intended, and I think it would have helped if I had done 2 more rows at the bottom, but the oranges that I had didn't really work. Like the orange leftovers that I had at that point didn't really work. I think that also, before I finish this quilt entirely, I'm going to put a border around it, because I feel like that'll really frame it so that you can understand that this is supposed to be kind of an abstract picture. I personally love the way that it turned out, even though it wasn't everything that I thought it was going to be. So yeah, thank you for joining me on another quilting journey. I post every other Tuesday, or try to, so if you want to like and subscribe, I would appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay, bye!